Hey, greetings everyone. It's GleeCon, and I am back again. Thank you for tuning in. On our last episode, we continued reading War of the Scaleborn. It's a newer book that deals with things that happened a really long time ago. After the Time of the Ancients quintuplet of books, in that chapter that we read, we started to see I don't know, maybe some trolls. They didn't specifically say, but some humanoid races, which has inspired the aspects to want to start doing what we're used to seeing them, which is take on humanoid visages, and then of course little further pebble steps toward what will eventually become Viranoth joining the Incarnates and a full war breaking out between the two. We've also been playing through World of Warcraft Classic, and we're in Thousand Needles doing a Horde run. Last time we did work with our warriors, so stay a while and listen as we now push forward with our shaman. We basically completed the tests of endurance with some help, the test of strength. Recently we've done wyverns. Actually, I think that was a couple ago. Really didn't accomplish a lot. We are almost done with everything except the salt flats. The salt flats really kind of goes in two waves. One wave will be fun, we can just kind of clear it up, but then the second wave really sends us out around the world. Before we also picked up Test of Lore, which is a bit of a pain. I wanted to just have us ready to go, but I forgot that I needed to do Call of Air. So Call of Air is one you pick up at level 30. It's how you get your totem. Unlike all the others, no mission this time. They just give it to you. It's like they just ran out of gas. They're like, okay, you've worked hard enough, just take it. And it says that the winds of Kalimdor rush to meet you, and you shall be counted among some of our most powerful brothers. I am proud to see you've come this far and have such a promising future. The element of air is a difficult one to control, but I have faith that your skills will overcome any obstacles that are placed in front of you. Head to the very south of the Barrens and enter Thousand Needles. It is there far to the east that you will find Crate Cloudseer. She'll teach you more.
For the time being, I shall give you what you need to focus your spells and to call upon the spirits of air. Take this totem, and when you are ready, train with me some more.
And that's it. I don't know what the heck she does. She does put you on this good swift wind buff, which is, we're going to waste a big chunk of it, and she gives us our air totem. So we are now rocking all 4 of our totems. I did learn some other things. I learned Astral Recall, so now every 15 minutes I can use my Hearthstone. In this case, taking us back to Freewind Post, plus the Hearthstone itself. So essentially 5 times per hour I can Hearth now as a shaman. That's not a big deal anymore, but it was back then. Now, Test of Lore takes place in the first step. Is going to be in Sunrock Retreat. So unfortunately, we just have to fly there. There's no way around it. So we'll talk about a little bit. I don't know, like, half of these quests, especially as you finish them, end up sending you around the world because of the way that we do this show now. That means that we are kind of stuck. So it's going to send us somewhat over into Stranglethorn, where we're going to have to do some quests. There's even a level 35 elite quest. There are some in a ratchet. So basically, this is really sending us around the world. And at level 30, we're not super. We're halfway to the next level. This quest of lore, we'll be able to complete this step, but it doesn't even end. There is a second half to it. There's a final half, which actually we'll read the lore as we do it. But it ends up, it's a cool quest line, especially this lore part. We're gonna like that. But it ends up sending us into Scarlet Monastery Library. We still have to do a bunch of runs, so my thinking is we'll end up having to hold off on that. And we're gonna push as far as we can with the quests. So we're gonna do this test of lore today. It's actually because of the flying and the running around. It's actually gonna take us probably half the episode just to get there, because we have to go over to Undercity. We have various things that we have to do, which is a little bit of a pain. But when all's said and done, we will at least have an episode set up to where we should be able to finish as many steps as we can up until the Scarlet Monastery step, and at least get back and go to the Salt Flats in Thousand Needles. I don't know how much, if any, we'll be able to do based on time. And I just know this because I just did these last night with my wife on our characters, where we just coincidentally have been doing Horde Thousand Needles the same. So once we finish this current run of this level that we're at, which, if I look at my data here, so after this we'll be done, once we kind of wrap up 1,000 Needles as far as we can push it, which my guess is it's going to be, after this episode, maybe 2 more episodes, but it might be 3. Then we will do the Alliance Hillsbrad. There's not a lot of quests. I don't think it's going to take us a long time. What's going to kill us is that there's a lot of grinding, because we're just not really actually equipped to do it as a zone yet. I really wish I wouldn't have picked it. Again, when we do Wrath Classic and we redo these, I'll show you, and we'll use my spreadsheet instead of Wowhead constantly, and we will get we'll have our work. It'll be much more smooth, and I think it'll actually go faster. I'm creating, before I get onto this, before I get back into the spreadsheet, but we'll do that. That will take us with, for whatever reason, Shalacir as well. So we'll take, that'll get us 6 characters done. And then we'll have Talanji and Farinel starting Stranglethorn Vale. So if they can handle it right now, and Farinel is, I think, my lowest at 27. So if he can get it started at 27, Muln running around it, basically he'll be probably level 31, close to level 32 by the time we have to go over there. He'll be fine over there. He's 5 levels higher than him. But those are going to... Stranglethorn Vale is also going to... We're going to have an arbitrary cutoff. We're basically going to figure out about how high these guys go, which... I'd say around 31, 32 is how far we're getting on this tier. And so we'll just run Farinel and Talanji about that high as well. And then, of course, we'll wrap up all of Wetlands with Maleficent. That's not a big zone. She'll be able to do that one pretty easily. Then I think what we're going to do is we will finally... We haven't done dungeons in a while. We will do Gnomeregan with as many people as we can. I'm going to try to do it with everyone, not on camera, but I will try and bust out sessions of Gnomeregan as much as I can. We'll kind of do like I did before, where I do an episode... Well, for the Horde, there's no need for an episode of setup. I might do like a short one. But there's like 2 things or whatever that you're doing. Alright, so we have the speed, which that's actually good considering we're on this test of lore right now. So I wonder if it'll stack. Because this gives me 40% speed, and this gives me an additional 40% speed. Am I going at 80% speed right now? I don't know. Alright, we have to go over here. This is not a hard zone for us. We're at level 30. We're way beyond everything in Stone Talon. I think they're around level 20, the things that are in Windshear Crag. Nothing is that hard. This is a level 30 quest. There will, when we actually have to do the fighting, for this part. The mobs are around 29, 30. There's not that many. None of them are elite. It's a place we've already been. Logi. We are going here to the Deldano whatever Barrow Den, which for some reason we already have exposed on the map. I don't know why. With this, maybe because of I have no idea. This would be another example where we could have done the Sacred Flame as well. That quest is not hard. I actually did it again. I did it with my wife a couple nights ago, and that was the one where we snuck in, but you're not killing, you are just snuffing out this brazier. And there are 2 mobs that are in front of it, and they're pretty tough for the level at which you can acquire the spell, and that's what we did. We basically, I think, either snuck or rezzed behind those mobs. God, it's like a staff. A deforester that fights with the staff. You choose the wing. See, that's the kind of thing I need. I want specifically... So anyway, after we do this run, we'll do No More Gone with everyone. And then we will do Graveyard with everyone. And then we will do Library with everyone. So bam, 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 bam. We're going to try to... And in the meantime, we'll pick up the quests as needed for those. So that should be cool. For us to get some of those quests done. Now, we also are sitting on Razorfen Crawl. And we'll kind of see where we're at with that. I would like to be able to do Razorfen Crawl at that point, too. But we really have to be... I don't know. I think I'm a little bit too conservative on what level I try to do dungeons, and I think that might be what we need to do, is just do a dungeon run where we do No More Gone, just all of them. Just those 4 at least. Bam, just bust all that out. Get those dungeons going. Alright, so here's the guy you're looking for.
Greetings, adventurer. Is there something I can help you with? The days and nights grow colder throughout the world as goblins rape the land, and the night elves point fingers at the younger races. The Forsaken and Orcs are not the only ones to blame for the hardships found throughout Kalimdor and Lordaeron. Many of the intelligent races have contributed to the world's pain. Dorn knows this, and he has sent you to me because you have shown the attributes necessary to realize it also. Now you stand before Braug. You have passed Dorn's tests, and now you seek to pass your next trial. Very good. But up until now, your challenges have been childish. It is easy to test your body. Your mind is another matter completely. I shall explain it simply. Find the book I name, study it, and answer my question about its contents. What book, you must be asking? The Legacy of the Aspects. It can be found at the bottom of Dordaniel in southern Ashenvale, protected by the dead druids and their slayers.
Okay, so this is cool because we're all about lore on this channel, and this is a situation where we're going to need to go find a book. I don't think the speed is stacking. I mean, I like that she gave us that buff for an hour. It's pretty cool. I wish I could have that on all the time. It's too OP, though. 30% attack speed increase and a 40% movement speed all the time. I mean, you can basically get that movement speed outdoors with Ghost Wolf form. So, yeah, this quest that we're gonna do is not very hard. Yeah, I guess we haven't come to the Talon Deep Path. Yeah, it's the exact same speed. I don't even know why I'm switching over. I actually used water walking, went across there because that is an alliance area, but I think it doesn't matter. We'll just kind of hug the road here. Razorfen. See, they want me to do Razorfen crawl already, and so if people are trying to recruit me for Razorfen crawl, that makes me think, yeah, I don't want to walk too close to that. That we could do it for sure. So they're recruiting me at 30. They don't even know what spec I am. So that gives me hope that it will also help us. Oh man, I'm trapped down here. It will also help us level, because we are definitely starting to hit a little bit of a bottleneck. So I think by running 4 dungeons with our characters, it's going to be a little bit time consuming for me to try to get it all done off camera, to get everybody done. But I mean, I can do it. It's not impossible. It's just gonna take some work. See, this guy, they want to do 2 pieces. I guess I would join in a group that was doing that, if I was doing it on my own, but I only... See, we want to do graveyard and then library. Like, we want to do just one wing at a time for questing purposes. But I would join in a group that was doing, like, both. And you see weird combos sometimes. Sometimes you don't see, like, you'll see, like, library and armory combined or whatever. They're all too holy for my shirt there. So yeah, I think that will really help us to run this content. And getting us up through Razorfen crawl, that starts to get us into the area where we'll boost our characters up into the mid-30s, which will help us. Really, we probably should have started it earlier. I guess I could stagger it. Like, we could probably try to do a Nomergon run. Nomergon is just... So the mobs in Nomergon are... I mean, the suggested levels of quests, I think, for Nomergon on Classic, it goes up to level 38. I believe the level of the boss, so basically the hardest mob, is level 36 on Nomergon. But I think you can do it in a party of 5 significantly lower than that, since you are grouped up with 5. Obviously, you don't want to be too much lower, because you don't want to be more than 5 levels lower than the boss. Or even 5 levels lower, because then you're going to be hard-pressed to fight him, to hit him. So I would say, I guess, yeah, finishing these zones is a good idea, because that puts us at level 31, 32, which that's reasonable to be able to fight the boss. That person. Now, the good thing for us is it will only get easier after that, because it's about the same difficulty for the graveyard, and I think the library is only like a level past that. So we'll start catching up, and then I think Razorfen Crawl is only a level past that, so only a couple levels. Alright, so we are here. We're now busting out this new Wind Fury weapon instead of Rockbiter weapon, which gives us the chance to So I guess I'd have to check the math on this. The good thing about it is, that right there happens. There is a 20% chance. Ooh, that's a 21, 5 stamina, 2 intellect. No, mine's better. So when you have Wind Fury weapon, you have a 20% chance on any given hit to do a triple attack with 46 extra melee power on those 2 extra attacks. Whereas Rockbiter weapon is just always 177 extra. So you're always going to hit harder. I'd have to really do the math to see. See, if you look in this lodge, most of these Forsaken are my allies. Yeah, I don't know. So basically, you are getting... Gotta do... I mean, yeah, we gotta see. So, first of all, let's look at attack power overall. My melee attack power is only 154. So... with an extra 177, I'm doubling. This is 11 extra DPS. My normal DPS is 31, so its base is about a 20. Whereas with Rockbiter, I'm getting an extra 14 DPS. So, let's just kind of feel this out. Now, with the Wind Fury weapon, every 5th hit, you do a triple hit. That's a little bit stronger than normal, an extra 44. What the heck is this thing? I summoned a nightmare. This is where the book is, by the way, right in here. I don't know why these guys don't help me. Alright, let's collect the book and then we'll read it on the way out. So yeah, as you can see, we had to kill like 2 or 3 guys. Not really a big deal at all. So... every 5 hits becomes 7. So if you think about it like that, you are gaining, well, it's not really 40% increased efficiency. So it's whatever your DPS is. It's not. It's 20%. Oh, but you're gaining 2 hits on that 20% extra. So it's 40% off the base. Yeah, this is why you'd have to kind of sim and be meta with the whole thing. So what we can do is we can do a base. Let's just look at our DPS. So I would jerk. All right, so with the Wind Fury weapon, every set of 5 hits, I'm doing 7 hits. With an average of 70 damage. So every set of 5, I'm doing about 490 damage. Whereas with Rockbiter, I'm doing 5. My average is 99. So it's almost a flat 500. It's actually like 495 so it's about a wash. Oops, I think I'm going on the wrong path. Yeah, right. So we're talking about, yeah, I think it's pinch. It's a pinch better. Yeah. Well, then the extra 46 power on those extra 2 attacks, because like I said, that's 490 on average. But the 46 power, let's just take that off. Okay, so 154 is 11. That means if you take 111 divided by 154 is, well, it's less than like 0.1. 11 divided by 154. So you're getting 0.07 for every single thing. Every single point of attack power is giving you 0.07 extra damage about. So then you multiply that by 46, which is going to be like 3 extra damage. So basically, adds about 6 damage more on when you, those 2 extra hits. So it actually truly is a straight wash. Now there's a 20-point variance here. Rockbiter weapon. There is only a 19-point variance. Again, super duper close. So your variance is just a little bit off. 44.1 DPS versus 31.4. So your DPS is significantly higher. Like I said, it's just not, that's not taking into account the chance that you'll wham bam them with triple. We'll play. I'm gonna play with the we'll try it for a little while. We'll see. Do we feel like we're more effective with this? Again, with this wind weapon? But just from a pure numbers standpoint, it's about the same. Now, I do think if there's probably ways to... This Wind Fury weapon probably goes up. Now, I think the reason why Wind Fury Totem is so more useful. Now, I think that's a whole different thing. Wait, did I not put that on there? Do I not have Wind Fury Totem? Maybe you don't get it right away at this level. Yeah, because it's an enhancement shaman type weapon. Wind Fury weapon is different than Wind Fury. No, but you should have Wind Fury Totem, but it just might not come quite yet. I don't remember when you get it. I might be supposed to be having it and not have it. Maybe you have to have gotten the power from her first. I don't know. But Wind Fury Totem now, that's a different thing because now it's a potential that we could overlap. You could drop that Wind Fury Totem. Now Wind has some other good totems. Nature Resistance, well, that's very situational, so I don't know that one's good. But Grounding Totem's pretty good. Yeah, because you'll also get Wind Wall Totem. I think you get that at 36. Wind Wall protects you from projectiles. That's a pretty good one to have. You throw Wind Wall and Stone Fury down, you have created quite a defensive front for yourself. So as you can see, this is why I knew we've already done half the episode, and we're just running around doing this one. I already knew that was the case. That was what was going to happen to us. Now, but... Oh, crud. I should have read while we were walking. We have this cool book to read, so... let's read this book first. Legacy of the Aspects. I've done a great deal of research about the Aspects and their Titan creators, as much as any human could in a lifetime. There were 5 Aspects when the Titans left this world. They were mighty dragons tasked with protecting the world of Azeroth. Their tales are vast and varied, and even now, in spite of all the information I've gathered, I know that there is much more to be learned of these magnificent creatures. Much of the knowledge I have now, I could not have possibly learned on my own. Because of this, I'm extremely grateful to the Night Elves. It was only with their help that I have as many details as I do. As a result of our interactions, I'm under the impression that their beginnings are much more closely tied to the Aspects than I had first thought. However, they guard their secrets far too closely for even me to know for certain. The information I learned of the Aspects I put here for others to reference in the future. I know it will prove useful, as I feel that these dragons will have a much greater effect on our world as time goes on. Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza, the ancient and powerful queen of the dragons, was named the Lifebinder by the Titans. She was first to be created by the Titans to protect the world after they left. It is said that she witnessed the birth of all modern races upon the face of Azeroth. Her red dragonflight, known for their proud demeanor, once ruled over all other dragonkind. Rumors among the Night Elves suggest Alexstrasza and the demigod Cenarius were close friends, and that it was he that called her during the first invasion of the Burning Legion. Ysera. Ysera the Dreamer represents mortal subconscious. She encompasses the Emerald Dreaming. While she appreciates imagination and creation and approves of ambition in the mortal races, her and her dragonflight consider the real world to be just an illusion. Ysera is one of the most graceful and powerful creatures any mortal could lay eyes on. Malygos. Malygos is known as the Steward of Magic, or the Spellweaver. His natural form is not that of a typical dragon, and it is said he can change it at will. Rarely seen after his retreat to the far north, he is almost always in the form of an insect-like creature, but while in dragon form, he and his dragonflight are varying blues in color. I hadn't heard that about the insect. Nosdormu. Nosdormu is known as the Master of Time and the Timeless. He and his dragonflight are bronze in color and display great cunning in all things. Nosdormu's attention has always been focused on collecting artifacts of the past, as he cares little for the current matters of the mortal races, or even his fellow Aspects' dealings. His indifference towards the politics of others does not mean he is complacent towards events that transpire throughout the world. Though considered to be protectors, the Bronze Dragonflight find themselves greatly attracted to areas of civilization. The dragon and his flight are very patient by nature, always relying on observation and acting with a plan before being hasty. Nosdormu will always attempt to protect the time stream and the mortal races when threatened by greater enemies. Neltharion, called the Earth Warder upon his creation, was more loyal and protective of Azeroth than any of the other Aspects. His black dragonflight were responsible for the creation of the mountains and the other formations of the lands, including boundaries between the mortal races. So that kind of explains why there are the boundaries between each zone. This is the lore behind that. What caused his corruption still remains a mystery. Be it an outside influence or something that rotted him from within, I wonder if perhaps the old gods didn't play a hand in the Great Black's corruption. The Black Dragon underwent a complete transformation, and in the end, Neltharion no longer existed. He became Deathwing, a creature of malice and hatred. No longer the Earth Warder in the eyes of races like the High Elves, it was renamed the Death Aspect and Zaxxas in place of his Titan-giving name. Deathwing is the embodiment of chaos and evil and is always hungry for destruction. He is arguably the first evil of Azeroth that appeared after the banishment of the old gods. Interesting, this book is rife. I wish we could keep it with interesting things. Zaxxas as a name of Deathwing. The fact that the Titans gave them their names, which when we read Dawn of the Aspects or whatever that was called, it didn't imply that the Titans gave them those names. Deathwing being the first evil after the old gods. Really, it's kind of concurrent with them. The fact that the blacks created the zone boundaries. The fact that Nosdormu are so tied to humanity. The fact that Malagos prefers humanoid form and insect form. The further nuance that the Green Flight and Ysera consider the world to be the true illusion. That Alexstrasza had a close relationship with Cenarius. And that Cenarius is the one we'd have to think about that. What was that book called? Day of the Ancients, or whatever that book we read with Ronan and all that was. That Alexstrasza witnessed the birth of all races. But that makes sense. Kind of, but the book we're just reading right now doesn't say that. That the Reds ruled all the other dragons. So there's all kinds of little nugs that maybe are true or maybe are not true.
What brings you here?
Bring me the book after you've studied it. I will not ask you your question until after you've given me the book.
This is the book I named. There is hope you will answer my question correctly then, unless you've forgotten to study its contents. When you are prepared, speak to me again, and I shall ask a question of you. You have brought me the book, and now it is time for your question. Are you ready? Time is not an issue, adventurer, so do not feel pressured. You may take as long as you like to answer.
Okay, and the question is... My question to you is this, Shaman. Which of the aspects created by the Titans became the nefarious creature known as Deathwing? We could have answered that without even reading the book. It is Neltharion.
Ancestors watch over...
I wonder what happens if you answer it wrong.
Well done, adventurer. You have studied the
failed.
text I asked you to, and now you have passed another of our tests. Well done, adventurer. You have passed the first portion of the test of lore, but there is still another question to be answered. But that question is not mine to ask. Seek out Parqual Fintalis in Lordaeron City. He was a great historian for the humans before the plague overtook him. Now he continues to seek enlightenment, but of a different nature. He will have another requirement of you before he asks you anything, but you have done masterfully thus far. I'm sure you will overcome his obstacle.
Okay, so this is getting us towards the last of the things. Now, I don't know, would it be faster to fly from Thousand Needles? No, I think it would be faster to just go ahead and hoof it to Sunrock Retreat and then fly. I was going to say, would it be faster for me to astral recall back and then... because that would basically be instantaneous. But then we'd be flying from Freewind Post, which would fly us up through the Barrens into Durotar. Or this, which would fly us... well, I don't know, actually. That might be... it might actually be worth it. Because we'll... running here, we'll lose a few more... we'll lose a couple more minutes. I knew because I was kind of keeping track of time when I did this myself. I was that
Where would you like to fly to?
this part was going to take us a while. It's just because they make you run around so much. All right, so now we have a little bit of a flight on our hands. My nose is starting to run. I have been sick for... today marks 2 straight weeks, and it is crazy. It's a bummer because I went to work yesterday, but it was very minor. Like I said, almost nobody was in the office, and I started to do this project, and there is a woman that I work with that is, we have So I kind of have a few job titles at work. I fulfill a lot of roles for the price of one. So I'm kind of like a jack of all trades. And this, one of the things that I do, it's a kind of a two-person job. So there is, they've hired a temporary person because it could be a three-person job. So they've hired a temporary person just for a few months to help in this thing. And the year started, there were two people doing the job. And that's always how it goes. Two people usually split this job. Well, the one lady quit a few months in, or maybe just a couple months in. She had come from out of state. I don't know. She couldn't handle it. In my opinion, it's not that hard of a job. It is. It's whatever. It's kind of, it involves data. You have to do trainings. You have to run trainings. You have to work with, kind of manage people. I don't mind the data part at all. I don't mind running trainings. I don't know. I don't particularly love the area. It's whatever. It's fine. It's not anything I ever wanted to do on my own. But when the lady had started, they felt like because she was from out of state, she was learning our computer systems and stuff, and they didn't want her to be overwhelmed, so they took half of her job and they asked me to just cover it for her. And then, so the other half of the data has been being run by this other lady she's been there a couple years now. So this lady and we have a tumultuous kind of history, a little bit, not really, but her husband, I used to work in a different department, and I really liked it there, and her husband started, and he wanted my job, and he told me straight up, I want your job. I'm gonna gun for it. And I just want you to know I'm coming for it. So, whatever. I mean, a lot of other people don't like that, or have heard that story that I've talked to, and they're like, I can't believe it. I had no problem with it. I had some level of respect. A lot of people, I think, would be behind the scenes, they just would try to sneak it, try to sabotage you, try to one up themselves, try to undercut you. He just straight up told me, I want your job. And what happened at the end, after a few months, they gave it to him. They moved me to another department. I didn't take a pay cut or anything. I actually got a pay raise, but it was a job. It was a department I liked a lot less, and I actually hated it. They moved me again after a few months because somebody else had quit. So I ended up moving, getting another promotion. So it worked out in the long run, but I was pissed. Not at him. I was pissed at my bosses. I was pissed at the people that worked in that department that were sort of like my partners. That didn't fight for me to stay there. So, whatever. The long story short is that this woman is that guy's wife. And I believe she wants to move up into upper management, which is what I want too. And I want to be at the top. And I have been with the company longer. I have, as far as degrees and stuff, I'm more qualified, but she is just so much more of a butt kisser. She gets all up in their butt of the bosses. And I just can't. I can't compete with that. It's just not my style. I'm super nice and helpful. I'm known for being that way, but I'm just not that. I'm not a butt kisser. I also don't like some parts of the job. So anyway, so I've been covering for this other lady because the other lady quit. The basically the counterpart of this woman who is, you know, wants to be in upper management. Her counterpart quit, and then after a month or so, I was already doing so much of the work. I just said, look, just if you guys aren't planning on hiring anybody anytime soon, I'll just do the rest of that lady's job too, because it depends on the season. Sometimes I can handle it, and when we're on busy seasons in my department, obviously that woman's job are going to just be put on the back burner. So Friday I was going in because I had a data package I needed to create for her, but before the office went on Christmas break, I had talked to the other lady and her new little part-time partner that they've hired for her. They had said, they were like, oh, you know, she loves to run trainings, this woman. She loves it.
Hey there, cutie. You looking for a ride to Gromgol?
Not the right
I hear it
one.
gets
We
mighty
need this
steamy
one.
down in those jungles. Maybe I could join you for a short vacation. Show you a real...
So anyway, she had said, like, oh, you know, we'll help you do this data. You know, we don't mind helping, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it'll be fine, it's fine. And then the boss had emailed, like, a couple days before Friday and said, hey, is this going to be ready for Monday? And I was like, yeah, it'll be ready. Well, apparently, the lady when the office was closed, this counterpart lady, she and her little partner did it. So they worked from home. They did this whole little data project. So she did it all. Now, that is mostly pro for me, in my opinion. From the con side, sure, she did it. I don't get whatever glory you might get from having done another project for the bosses. She'll run this training. But it is, when I come back this week, it's right away busy season. I have 2 weeks of heavy time crunches from my own actual department that I work in, not covering this person's job. So I was going to be kind of burning the candle at both ends. I have a lot. We have the feds coming in for auditing. We have the State Department coming in the following week. So I have a lot of things I need to do to get ready for that, because I generally handle all of the reports for that. We have all these budgetary things that need to be done and submitted as we get, you know, we're getting close to that tax time. So there's just all kinds of things. So I am not like wanting for work. So, and I have been sick for 2 straight weeks. I can't believe it. I was just saying this to my wife last night. I don't think I've ever been sick, like with the flu or whatever, like I have for 2 straight weeks. I'm not, you know, I'm not that guy. Most of the time I can get over being sick pretty, you know, normal time, week tops. But it has been 2 weeks and I don't feel any better. I am hopped up. What I do before I make these shows is I'll get hopped up on pain medicine. So I am rife with a handful of not pain medicine, cold medicine. I'm not taking painkillers. Don't worry. Don't think I have a problem when it comes to that. I'm not coming on here and taking a bunch of painkillers. So anyway, sorry that I do this sometimes where I just go stream of consciousness. So yeah, that lady will get an attaboy. I don't know. Sometimes I also feel like, whatever. Like, I'm torn because I work hard. I just don't kiss the butt, and sometimes that makes me feel like, you know, I get overlooked when I shouldn't. And I also try to play devil's advocate. Maybe I'm not the best, you know. I don't have any monopoly on these things. I think there are definitely things that I'm unquestionably good at. And I have myself in a niche right now where I think it's pretty reasonable to assume, assuming of course like this federal audit doesn't go badly. That's a freaking, and the state, well, like we're the federal and state audits we have coming in. Assuming I don't get like dinged in that situation, I have myself carved out a pretty good niche where I'm making solid money. I am good at what I do. And what's the point? Because my job is really much, it's really an example of you have to work way more than you get paid to work. Because I'm a salary worker, I don't get paid by the hour. There are ways that I can get extra money and pick up extra time, and I can get money that way, but yeah, my job is the kind of job it only rewards you if you work way beyond what you need to work.
What is it?
Alright, so here's our guy for the second half, the final leg of the tests. It's always nice when someone wishes to speak to me. How are things with you, shaman?
Beware.
It's always nice when someone wishes to speak to me. How are things with you, adventurer? Braug sent you. Impossible. Brave Dordanil took a leap of faith, fought and overpowered a powerful elemental. Bah! You're probably a farce. Some adventurer that overheard talk in a tavern, and now you think you have what it takes to pass my test. So be it, adventurer.
I think it's funny that he does it, but the worst of all those things was the Harpy Cave, and he doesn't even mention that.
I will tell you what you must seek, and I will even ask you my question. But not because you wish to prove yourself. Knowledge is far more important than strength. Even as others seem to pass you by in ability, your knowledge of the world will be more valuable.
I like that.
Go to the monastery in the north of Tirisfal Glades. In the library there, a book called Beginnings of the Undead Threat resides. It was used by the now corrupt paladins there to train them to fight my kind. Bring it to me.
So we have to run Scarlet Monastery Library to finish off this part of the quest. So we cannot, and actually I don't think it ends in Thousand Needles, or maybe we'll go and turn it in, but that's done. Like there's nothing that we can really do about that for now. So
I can't cast that yet.
it's not ready. Oh, but it's only got 10 seconds. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to hearth out. I mean, we're gonna astral recall our butts back to Thousand Needles, and we'll walk to the Salt Flats, and that's we'll stop there. But that is where we will be setting up to do next time. I guess while we're up there, we'll sell a couple of these things too. So that's good. So this whole episode, I had a feeling this might happen. Sorry if you hated it. I don't need the. I don't need a heavy stone. I guess I'll keep that for now, but because it sells for like almost nothing. But yeah, so we will, the Shimmering Salt Flats, this is it's going to be completely different on the style of episode we have next time, because we're going to have a butt ton of quests that we can probably bust out all in an hour. And I don't know. I will find out more. I'll know more by the time I make that next episode, because I'll probably push forward with it tonight with the wifey, because we're doing the same thing. As we've just finished all the salt flats, and that's why I know they send you out. So I'm thinking this will be 2 more episodes of finishing Thousand Needles. Go over, because the salt flats one will be one we can accomplish on its own. Might take us a little bit more than an hour just because we're only level 30, whereas my wife and I are 36, so we were just able to cruise. However, there were 2 of us, so that means it took almost all of them are collection quests. So it took twice as long for the collection part. It's pretty nice though, actually. And I think when we do this as Alliance, I think this is only almost all you can do is that right there. Which is why this zone's a little bit higher level for Alliance, because you can't even start the stuff until you're doing the level 30, 31 quests. Which, I think that's what we're doing. Yeah. That's why we've got it as a rank 5 for the Alliance. We almost wasted all of our good speed buff, but I mean, I guess, what better place to have it than when we're running around the world, probably. But yeah, we're coming up right on our 1 hour mark right now, and all we did was the first half of Test of Lore. Yeah, so then we'll do a couple levels as we wrap up the Salt Flats. Salt Flats is like a dry lake bed, I think, kinda. And then oh look, it'll be good for our leatherworking also though, because you're basically just killing mobs constantly, killing animal mobs. So my leatherworking is gonna, my skinning, leatherworking, all that, gonna go up quite a bit. Now skinning is gonna, I don't know if I can afford to take it to artisan, but maybe. On my spreadsheet that I'm gonna eventually release, I'll share it out maybe as a link on my channel. What I'm doing is I'm creating a blueprint for every zone that is the quests in each zone in order of the level, with a slight filter applied for what order you can actually do the quests in. Look at that. He's straight PvP. So I guess that's the Alliance side. Alright, so this is like a fun little goblin gnome race, and we will do this Mirage Raceway next time. Alright, so for now, we have another episode in the pipe, 5x5, and I thank you for everything, for watching, for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Lore of Warcraft. Peace out.